I hear there's trouble in Mercer.
Wall of Memories.
Think it's alright to touch him?
I don't know. You go first.
Van új levelünk. Forgive my insistence on writing you these silly letters. Would that we had more time to speak to each other in person, but for every day we spend together it feels as though we must suffer another two apart. I'm gladdened to hear of your most unexpected reunion with Ambrosia, or should I say Whiteheart. You told me once how your chocobo sacrificed herself to protect you at that night at Phoenix Gate, and here, so many years later, we find she has spent her life doing that exact same thing, defending others. Some things never change, do they, Clive? Jill. Kedves lány ez a Jill amúgy. Na. No. Meghűlt a kontrollál. Igen, és mi van még? Ambrosia's Tech, bocsánat. Saddle and blinders crafted specifically for Clive's childhood chocobo Ambrosia. Even after being separated from her master, the noble steed served the people of Rosaria instead. In his stead, protecting the defenseless from the merciless, just as a good shield should. Na, Gav visszatért.
Clive! Oh, I've missed that scowl.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel. Now sit down, you fool.
You fool!
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to occupy the Dominion after the fall of Drake's head? And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first?
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world's supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrek. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Arthur.
Well, the two nations beat their shields. The rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming. It's time we moved on the mother crystals. Four mother crystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dhalmekia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
Ez tuti erre gondolnak azért.
Kupka would anticipate.
Igen.
And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps.
Ja. Nem olyan egyszerű ez a
There is one
taktik.
place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's Breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rosfield.
Lord Byron Rosfield of the Seven High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities. Wait, Rosfield. And you're a Rosfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune, along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then. What are we waiting for, eh? Huh?
De akkor az azt jelenti, hogy tuti őrzik ezeket a kristályokat már az egyik, a másik meg, hogy hát akkor találkozunk megint az enemivel. És itt meg a bounty board, gondolom. Otto's counter. New facilities, Alliance reports, patrons whisper, the hunt board. Még nyíltak dolgok, még. Az egyiket szerintem ismerem, az Alliance. De a sidequesteket tudunk csinálni.
What are we waiting for indeed?
Hát talán az, hogy sidequestek vannak, tesókám. Itt a bounty board. Na jó, megyünk. Fordul és balra.
Think it's alright to touch him?
Jobbra?
Sid, I was hoping to speak to you.
Is everything all right?
Oh, yeah, it's just, well, as you know, we've been trying to grow fruit down here.
It's good to know that something of the old hideaway still lives on.
Martel's pride and joy. It was a sapling when she rescued it from the rubble, but look at it now. All our hard work's finally paying off. I took it on, you see, after she died, and now the fruit's finally ready to eat. And not only is it ready, it's actually tasty. Sweet as you like, in fact. She bred the bitter right out of it.
Impressive. And welcome news to more than a few, I'd say.
I thought this first harvest could go to the curse breakers, on account of all they do for the hideaway. You couldn't take them some, could you? Seems better them coming from you.
It'll be nice being the bearer of good news for a change.
Oh, thank you. She always had a soft spot for that lot, see? And once they've had their share, I'll see to it that everyone else gets some. Here you go. Martel apples, they're called, in honor of her memory. You hear that, Martel? Today's finally the day.
Mert nagyon keserűek voltak, mint a romlott lett volna, olyan íze volt az előző kertész. Sajnos még nem tudta azt az ízt elérni almákkal az előző búva helyen.
Did you come through the forge today?
I hear there's trouble in Rosaria.
That broom's as ragged as...
You two look like you could use something to eat. Here, courtesy of Martel.
Martel. Now, where have I heard that name before?
Weren't she the girl from the Furrows?
Course she was. An odd sort, that one. Loved plants more than people.
Aye, and brave as a bane mite. Remember when she ran back into the hideaway to collect them trees when Titan attacked? Wait,
These aren't those apples, are they? Well, I'll be. She'd have been proud, and rightly so. Thank you, Sid.
Others weren't so lucky, though.
Your guts.
A gift from the backyard. For your service.
Blimey, these take me back. I haven't seen a hideaway apple since. Old Sid was the only one who could stomach the things. He'd nab them right from the branch, made Martel livid. Not that anyone could stay mad at the man for long.
That sounds like the Sid I knew, all right.
Planning on keeping that lot to yourselves, were you? Hang on. These aren't Martels, are they? I'm glad to see someone carried on what she started. Can't have been easy, not in the Deadlands. Reckon she'd be happy knowing all her hard work didn't go to waste. Clive, tell the lad down in the backyard to run some over for me, will you?
Not so much as a thank you. Well, I've got some manners at least. Thanks, Sid. You can leave the basket with me. I'll see that the others get their share. Oh, and give our compliments to the gardener, won't you?
That was the last of the apples. I should head to the backyard and pass along everyone's regards.
All apples were enough to
I hear there's trouble in Rosaria.
Persze, nagyon. Itt az anyjánál van egy hétig.
The Cursebreakers send their thanks. And their compliments. They were clearly very fond of Martel.
They remembered her. After all these years. I suppose she was very kind, even to a tongue-tied lummox like me. You were one of the good ones, Martel. Why did you have to die? She put everything into her work. She wasn't going to rest until we had fruit sweet enough to enjoy. And now we do. When she died, I named a sapling after her. And now it's a full-grown tree. Martel lives on through the fruit it bears.
And through you. Her dream would have died with her, had you not kept it alive. That's something to be proud of.
I didn't do anything really, but thank you. You're kinder to me than I deserve.
By the way, Otto's expecting some of your crop. And I wouldn't mind some of it either, if that's not too much to ask.
Of course not. I'll see that you're both well provided for. They like your fruit, Martel. Isn't that wonderful? I'd say it's about time we planted you some siblings, don't you think?
Ja, nem erre. Bár lehet, hogy még tolnom kéne, mert ugye leállt a stream az előbb, és most csak 20 perce megy. És ezt viszont le kell töltenem, meg összevágnom. Jó, meglátom.
I hear there's trouble in Rosaria.
Igen, ezt már elmondtad 3-szor.
That room's as ragged as...
What's the matter, Nectar? The hunt board? It's where the curse breakers post sightings of particularly fearsome beasts. Those that might pose a threat to our operations if they were left to roam free. Just because they can't be dealt with when they're spotted, doesn't mean they can't be dealt with later. Was that what you wanted to know? Right. Well, leaving your mightiness aside for the moment, the people of Valisthea are going through a lot already. What with the Blight and the war. The last thing they need is ungodly fiends terrorizing them on top of everything else. So if the curse breakers are too busy to help, then perhaps I can. Or at least I can try.
Reports of fiends terrorizing the countryside are posted to the hunt board in hopes that the fearless heroes such as Clive will take it upon themselves to hunt down and slay the notorious marks. Az egyik megvan. Angel of Death. Aha. Ezek erősek. Belfagor.
And how may I assist you today?
How may I help you today?
Here you are.
The state of the realm is ever-changing, Clive.
Oh, Clive! Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
The Patron's Whisper? Does that mean someone else is taking care of our friend's donations?
Oh no, that's still me. It's just Karen has her toll, Blackthorn has his hammer. I thought a new name might liven things up. I still catalogue every item that arrives, in addition to setting aside those tokens of appreciation the sender has specified are to be presented to you personally. Would you like to see if we have any? Come to claim your just desserts?
Completing side quests will earn Clive renown, inspiring nameless benefactors from across the Twins to donate money or items to Clive's cause. Visit Desiree at the Patron's Whisper in the Hideaway's Mess to view current renown level and accept any donations available.
All yours. Here you are. Come again. I may have more for you.
Fancy a look at the list, do you? Anything catch your eye? Seen enough?
Na nincsenek side questek.
Doesn't sound like anywhere is safe.
Jó. Wall of Memories, na mit? Mit raktunk oda?
That room's
Egy almát fogadjunk.
I think it's all right to touch him.
Yes. Somewhat stunted, somewhat sweet apple grown from the blighted earth, thanks to the dedication and perseverance of one woman, Martel. Though she was to lose her life from the wounds she sustained in Kupka's attack on the hideaway, her legacy lives on in the saplings she saved from the ruins. Okay. Na nézzük. Legszívesebben már feküdnék az ágyikomban.
Do you think it was wise to leave, Gav? He didn't seem pleased.
I needed his eyes and nose in Dhalmekia. I'm not about to let Kupka take us unawares. Besides, he has a knack for that sort of thing.
That he does.
And wasn't it Sid who said that matters such as these are best left to dominance? Especially should one of his beloved opportunities to grow and change present itself.
I always knew that I would return one day. Return to Ironhome.
For what?
After learning the truth, you were given the chance to face your past. If I am to continue at your side, I must do the same.
We will face it together then.
To the end.
Come on.
Nehogy meghalljon a Jill. Bloodlines.
How far do you think your mother's reach extends? Will we find the same tragedy in the south as we did at Martha's Rest?
More than likely. Which is why we should hurry. There are still many settlements between here and Port Isolde. We visit as many as we can and hear their stories. Starting with the village of Amber. Come on. Run like the wind.
És a Jill is csokobon jön, de jó.
Mockery of justice is what it is. Lord Elwyn would never have stood for this.
Quiet, you! I think we're loyalists.
Jill, look.
Rosaria must be cleansed of the stain which befouls her, that she might rise once again from the ashes to welcome a new dawn. 'Twould be a pity to make examples of you all, for the transgressions of but a handful.
Of course, your lordship. You shall have our full cooperation.
What business could the Black Shields have in a village this small? There's barely room to hide a bearer.
Then they must be here for something else.
You fancy dancing a gallows jig like the miller?
I ain't got much, but what's mine is yours, for a price. I'll find it a good home. I reckon that's fair. I'd pay more if I could. Keep to the roads now. Welcome, stranger. Keep to the roads now.
Excuse me, but what was all that about earlier?
You haven't heard? Someone's been stirring up trouble. There have been attacks on the garrison, supplies stolen. They even say a Black Shield was murdered. The Empire wants answers, and what the Empire wants, the Empire gets.
Don't they just?
Keep your ears open, eh? The Black Shields will pay good coin for information on the culprits. You'd have to be dull as a sack of stones to think you could take on the Empire. What with their 100 full legions? You seen them, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
The Black Shields. Just now. You seen them, didn't you? At least I think there was a Black Shield. Can't say I ever saw one before.
Was this the first time they visited the village?
What do you think? Amber's the arse end of nowhere. And they thought we might be harbouring firebrands. Huh. If only we were. I might have turned them in and become a Black Shield myself.
You don't think these firebrands the Empire is looking for could be us, do you?
I don't know. But we need to find out. Greetings, friend. We are travelers.
I know that. What do you want?
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial soldiers who were here earlier.
Don't you go telling these strangers a thing. I speak for the people of this village, and we have nothing more to say to you. You are to leave Amber and never come back.
May I at least ask why?
I don't know who you are or what brings you here, but your presence puts us all in grave danger. The Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, and its justice swift. But as long as we keep our heads down and pay our tributes, we are left alone. Some might call it submission. But if it will spare my people the Viceroy's wrath, then I will gladly submit. This village will not become another East Pool.
Then we shall be on our way. These people live with a knife to their throats. In the mistaken belief that if they cooperate, my mother will show them mercy.
Obedience bought with fear.
Are you all right?
Sorry, It's nothing. We still don't know who the Black Shields are looking for.
Well, whoever they are, the Imperials deem them worth pursuing to the back of beyond. But other than Martha, who else in Rosari would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Can we find them before the Imperials do? Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
Perhaps.
This pass will take us through the mountains.
And directly into the path of whoever or whatever lurks here.
Ever since the apothecary,
crystals collapse?
More of my mother's men.
Wakened wind!
Blood, Clive.
And still wet.
You were told to stay in your homes.
The Black Shields.
You know who we are. And still, you would bear your steel. Why then, we owe you our thanks. You have saved us the trouble of an interrogation. To dwell in darkness, that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these, our swords we swear.
Say that again. I'll show you a true sword Brazilian.
fegyverük.
Tell me what I want and the end will be swift. Who are you looking for?
Why, you. We come bearing a message. Your friends have been found. The branded you freed from our camps. They await you in Ordeal. Guardians of the Flame.
Those are Old Hill's gates.
Then we hurry. Find something, boy. Death.
Halálszag.
Found her.
Uff.
This was my mother's doing.
But why? Why would anyone...
I don't know. I never truly understood her.
Miért akkora féreg az a nő?
This.
Oh, Clive.
I will learn what madness drives her, and I will end it. We should go.
Yes.
We can't leave them here like this.
We won't. But if the Black Shields have made it this far south, they may already be in Port Isolde.
Szétnéztem gyorsan.
We're approaching Buick Bridge. Though I doubt the Empire would let us cross over to Rosalith.
I did, Mummy. I could hear him shouting from down the road.
Hush, no. You nothing.
They're all Rosarian.
But this is their home.
No use calling Ambrosia now. Ready, go? Fly, Ambrosia.
The Lazarus. What happened to this place?
My mother happened. The nobles who lived here didn't stand a chance. Let's hope my uncle fared better. That's the main gate. And it looks like we're not the only ones hoping to get in.
Let us pass! My children are starving! Have mercy! Voice-rinsed dogs they are! You can't ignore us forever!
Let us in, or we'll die on your doorstep!
Better out there than in here!
Oh, good enough,
Fuck off! Find the chinless bastards! Those crystals belong to us all! I said, away with you, filth! Back to your stall! Cut you down where you stand! Destroy it!
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in. I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle once told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. The Lazarus. We'll find our way into the city there.
If you're sure. The entire place looked abandoned. Do you think it's safe?
As long as it is abandoned.
The good news is we haven't seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Maybe they found who they were looking for. This is nothing like I remember it.
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
Nem lesz az olyan üres,
Not abandoned,
mint amilyen üresnek gondolják.
Oi! Visitors!
Banditák?
Apologies. We'll show ourselves out.
Bírom, hogy így belassítja a játék ezeket a kivégzéseket, vagy az utolsó ütéseket.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that.
Ők még élnek?
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
Én azt hittem, hogy ők meghaltak.
The blessing of the Phoenix.
Ő...
It can't be.
Igen.
I was there when you died.
Én azt hittem, hogy elégettük őket is.
Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us.
Őt ismerjük.
Founder, it really is you.
It is. So wait.
We can speak inside.
Igen, mert azon a történelem csajszínál, és ugye amikor mutatta, hogy kikivel haverkodik, akkor sem voltak ők halottak. Például ez.
And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye. The foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord, but in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm. She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And, since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son.
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge. Then so do we. Make ready. This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope so. Wade has a good quartermaster.
You are welcome to what little we have managed to salvage. As you wish, my lord. Of course, my lord. Will that be all?
Tell us then, Sir Wade. What is your plan?
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buett Bridge and provoke the main host at their encampment. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the surrounding hills. This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being overwhelmed. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which we can use to our advantage.
How small exactly?
Small enough, now that I have you and Lady Jill for company. I doubt I could have done this on my own.
Szia, Lily.
But until we arrived,
Mi a
that
helyzet?
was your plan. You haven't changed a bit.
Sir Wade, the bearers from Old Hill have been laid to rest.
Very good. Now make ready for battle.
As you command.
Mindenok. Fáradt vagyok már. Csak leállt egyszer a stream. És 1 óránál kevesebbet nem szeretnék eltölteni.
Putting an end to the Black Shields.
And so we shall.
Meg úgy külön vágóprogramba se vagdosni, elég az, ami a Twitch-en van. Úgyhogy még ameddig bírom tolom. Na, party members. Throughout the main scenario, Clive will often be joined by various companions who are keen to lend their assistance. However, depending on Clive's destination, they may choose to remain behind at the hideaway. Értem, igen. De jön velünk, ugye? Party members. Guest. ...978 pontunk van. Ez komi. A Blind Justice annyira nem fekszik nekem. Mit használunk? Flames of Rebirth-et. Meg... Ja, meg Ifritet. Ignition.
We'll keep them from the bridge.
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
Köszi. Nem jól
How
csináltál.
long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village. We tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
Mit néztél?
Yeah!
Come along now.
Jó volt?
The bastards are looking.
There they are. On your command, my lord.
Királyság.
What is it now? I told you!
We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame.
Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman and a dog, could guard aught against the might of the Black Shields? Then come! Die along with your flame! For Azaria!
For Azaria!
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear.
Get him! Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Another wyvern to fight their battles for them.
More dragons! Worse. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't stand frightened.
Over here!
This one.
A noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it,
you
have but proven our point. That this land is in dire need of cleansing.
Dragon.
There's no one left to keep them occupied. We need to finish this.
We ain't finished yet. It's over.
Hát ezek már kapják amúgy nagyon. Ezzel a 3 icon powerrel nagyon zoral vagyok.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
It did. It
A
bloody
titán erők nagyon komolyak, azt a bánytal teszteltük a
every
demóba.
last one of the rotten bastards
nagyon
straight
komoly.
to the mud. My Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps. Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well. She'll move swiftly to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it, as we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die, and her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
Na, 85-ös arénánunk is.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for trying to sneak over the wall.
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And appearances must be maintained. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, they'd seize his estate and send him to the gallows, where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal lord, knowing that one wrong move might prove his downfall. It is why he remains ever vigilant. Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience, especially since you're famously dead.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the latter. It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it, and those who love Rosaria will know where your loyalties lie.
Már annyi ilyen szílunk van.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my men attacking you again. Unless you deserve it. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you. Or the Lord Commander.
Tehát a többiek meghaltak.
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever anything you need.
I know. Go on now, my lord.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Right, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Milyen nagy hangos léptek.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosfield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue!
Miért nem akar tudomást venni róla, hogy mi vagyunk azok?
You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to Her Serene Holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once
Felismerte.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Meadow in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint in the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford. So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster?
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive.
Ritkán szoktam már
The nation
ropogtatni.
your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have.
De aztán abba hagytam.
I have a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo.
De
She can
általában
be
nem
outfitted
káros.
for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
Your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass. This will be fun.
Mi a baj a lányal? Nem tartozik... Azt érzi, hogy nem tartozik oda, vagy? Hogy még nem oldotta meg a saját problémáit, vagy mi? Mi a gond? Érződött rajta már egy ideje, hogy van valami baja. Nem jön.
Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days.
Maradni fog.
Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that the lash would not move me,
Holdpontom kezd így elszállni. Meg már nem
they
fog
turned
tudni
it on
aludni.
those who could.
Ez zene is mi.
And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Clive, most kell megölelni és megpuszilgatni ezt a lányt. Szava Christian.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
Külön válunk most.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others.
Kitaláltam, hogy gondolkozik. Ez a nő személy.
Only the Founder knows what awaits us in the Iron Kingdom. But Vivian could probably make an educated guess.